Hello everybody and welcome to the channel Out of Ammo, Out of Time. I'm your host Crabbyterror8 and here we are for episode 2 of the Investigator game's Eldritch Horror edition. And yes, we're here with Lily Chen facing off against Azathoth here in Eldritch Horror. A couple of things. Thank you very much for some of the comments and the feedback that I got from the last episode with Harvey, poor old Harvey. And I did appreciate the feedback. I think a number of people provided me with some really good feedback around just the general challenges of doing Eldritch Horror True Solo. It's not really, I can see from general comments on the internets that it's not a common way of doing it, that it's very difficult. So I considered maybe changing the format, but then I spoke to the actual investigators themselves and we had a chat about it. And generally, the Investigator games is more about the relative performance of individuals. And yes, it's very difficult. So, I recognise the challenge of trying to actually win this particular game on solo, and that it's quite hard. So, it's not like we're trying to beat the game in a traditional sense. We're actually pitching each investigator against each other. So that's how the Investigator games works. Each investigator is put through Eldritch Horror and we put them into a league table and see how they go. And the best performing investigator is at the top of the league table through to the least, and the worst performing. And we can do that against the different old ones, starting with Azathoth. So it's less about finishing, completing the game as a board game per se. It's more about the competition between the investigators. So I'm a bit more sanguine about that, and quite frankly, maybe I'm just masochistic like this, but actually like the idea of it being super challenging. So I'm going to stick with the way that it is now, and recognising that there's going to be some pretty disastrous games, but they can be fun as well. I'm not doing this to play a perfect game or get a kind of perfect outcome. It will be interesting to see how it goes. So here we are set up in for the game here in Eldritch Horror. Just adjusted the Doom track right there. We've got our cards set up here for the Mythos cards set up here. We've put out the different items are out here. We've shuffled up all of the cards as well, and so we'll run through that in a second. So I think everything is pretty much set up to go. I might just adjust the table a little bit here so it's just a little bit easier to see. So I might just go around the table and just highlight a couple of things before we start. So we drew the Arcane Blade, the Holy Spear, very nice, +4 strength to combat encounters, the Arcane Blade, +2 to combat, +2 to spell. These are all quite expensive. The Lucky Ring, you re-roll 1 die when resolving a test. And the Ankh, which is +2 lore, +2 willpower. So all fairly high expensive items, but certainly worthwhile. The expedition is starting on Tunguska. There it is. It's there. Playing with Azathoth, of course. Let's have a look at what mystery we'll be starting with. So I draw the first mystery card. Let's hope it's not getting another artifact. It's Omen of Devastation. The Nemesis moon appears in the night sky, visible to all, heralding an imminent doom. When an investigator closes a gate that corresponds to the current omen, he may spend 1 clue and place 1 Eldritch token on this card. At the end of the Mythos phase, if there are Eldritch tokens on this card equal to half, so 1 basically solve this mystery. Doesn't seem too bad to start with. Last time Harvey had to find an artifact, and that kind of made things reasonably difficult. So hopefully this won't be so difficult. If we can get a blue gate to start off with, that shouldn't be too difficult. And in fact, let's draw that now. Let's do our draws of gates and things. So I'll just draw a gate. Looks like the pyramids, and it is a blue gate, so that's a good start, and it's not a million miles away from where we're starting in Shanghai. Although, getting there, yeah, not too bad. So start on the pyramids, let's draw a monster. And the monster we get is a giant penguin. The horrifying, terrifying giant penguins. This monster is spawned, move it to Antarctica, so it's not even going to be on the... so that's kind of handy as well. So there we go. And we will spawn a clue to start with, and put a clue on the board. And the clue that we start with is Antarctica. There's a bit of a trend here. So the first clue goes there, which is a bit of a problem because we do need to get a clue as well as closing the gate. So it would have been nice to get a clue somewhere else, but you know, that's the way it goes. So I don't really want to have to take a trip all the way down to Antarctica, fight a giant penguin, and then just to get a clue. It's not the world's worst monster, I suppose. So anyway, we'll see how we go with all of that. So that's the clue drawn, that's the gate drawn, that's the penguin drawn. So that's all ready and set up. We've got our first mystery here. And of course we are Lily Chen. So we are Lily Chen, the martial artist. Looks very martial artist-like. Yes, she really looks like she could really beat the shit out of me, that's for sure. So basically, Lily, spend any number of health and sanity. This is a little bit ambiguous. I had to look this up. So spend any number of health and sanity, then recover an equal number. Essentially, you can use an action to convert your health and sanity to sort of rebalance it in some way if you want. The other nice thing is when you improve a skill, you immediately improve that skill again. So that's nice as well. We start with 6 health and 6 sanity, so nice and balanced. Our stat line is we're not big on law and influence or observation. That's not really our thing. Strength and will are our big ones, and I guess that's because we're a martial artist. And I have been preparing to confront this evil my entire life. My focus must be absolute. Indeed. Well, you're going to need a lot of focus if you're going to do this solo, Lily. Let's have a look at the back. Now, I'm not going to worry about the injury or death and things because if she dies, it's done. We start in Shanghai. 1 protective amulet asset and 1 lucky rabbit's foot, so that's nice to start with. Lily speaks rarely when she does, her words are measured and wise. After a lifetime of disciplined training, every gesture is graceful, uncluttered by hesitation. It sounds like the complete opposite of me. When she was an infant, an obscure sect of monks believed that she was born for a special purpose, to face a great evil. No pressure. Now the monks believe that the great evil is at hand, and they have brought Lily to Shanghai to begin fulfilling her destiny. There we go. That's why we're in Shanghai. So that's Lily. Here we are, 6 and 6 on our counters. So we have the lucky rabbit's foot, which allows us once per round to resolve 1 die when resolving a test. And we also have the protective amulet that gives us +1 will during combat encounters. So that pushes our will up to 4. Very nice. So there we are. I think we're all ready to roll here in Eldritch Horror. So the siren goes off, the crowd goes wild. Yes, there is a crowd that's always watching the Investigator games, either hoping that their favourite Investigator will succeed, or indeed their least favourite Investigators will crash and burn. We'll see how we go. So we've got to get this gate over here. So this is about closing a gate, and we need a clue to do that. Now there's only 1 clue on the table at the moment. We're here in Shanghai, and that's about improving law, and indeed our law is pretty crap, so we could do that. So I'm thinking rather than racing off, because actually in the mythos phase what we might find is that another clue pops up somewhere else, which would be handy. The other thing we could do is go to Tunguska and start doing expedition things, which is sort of on the way, actually. Looking at it, it's kind of on the way towards the pyramids. You could go that way. So, yeah. So what I might do is, first of all, I'm here in Shanghai. I think what might be helpful, since it's a lot of Actually, I can see here that we can do a double rail to Istanbul, and then we're just one away from the pyramid. So what I might do first is, I can't quite see it here, is get myself a train ticket. Can I get a train ticket in Shanghai? Yes, I can, because I think Shanghai is on a train line. So I will get myself a train ticket, first of all. So that's my first action. Oh, I'm also got a counter here for how many rounds it takes. That's part of the Investigator games. It's not only how well you do, but it's also how, and that should be on 15. I don't know why I moved it to 13. It looked like the 15. It's also about how quickly you do things as well. So, for example, you may get 2 investigators who only solve 1 mystery. That's 1 victory point as I'm measuring it. But one might do that in 3 turns, while one might take 6 turns or something like that. So we'll just have to see how we go. So that was our first action. Our second action, I think I'm going to try and get, I really like this Holy Spear because it's really strong. I don't think we're going to be going for spells. Lucky Ring feels fine, but for 3 I'd rather have the Holy Blade. And then the Ankh actually helps with our lore. So maybe the Ankh is better because, but it's spell effects. So actually I think we should lean into and have a Holy Spear. That would be pretty badass if we're a martial artist with a Holy Spear. So what we're going to do for our second action is try and get this. So we only have an influence of 2. But we can re-roll a die if we need to, because we do have the lucky rabbit's foot. But what I'm looking for here is I can use the debt here to, I think it's 2 extra. Yeah, immediately add 2. So what we can do is we can do that if we need to. So we're looking for a 5 or a 6, either 1 or 2. Here we go. So we'll roll those up, and we get 4 and a 3. So we get neither. So there's no point going into debt because we can't get any of these, which is unfortunate. But maybe next time. I really do want that Holy Spear. So that was our second action. So we move into the encounter phase. We're here in Shanghai. We might as well take a Shanghai encounter. Here we go. Flip it over. What's it got? Shanghai. The Buddhist monk Chao Kung is actually a con man. For a bribe, he'll get his fellow monks to help you. If you pass, they guide your studies and improve 1 skill, which would mean I get 2 skills. If you fail, you take a fall for his crimes. Oh, great. Okay. Well, so we're only a 2. So again, I'll bring out 2 dice. So not 3. So we'll bring the 2 dice over to here, and we will roll them. So we need to pass this, 5 or a 6. And we fail, but I'm going to use my lucky rabbit's foot, so I'll flip it to because I think you can only use it once. Is that right? Once per round. Okay, so I'm going to do that. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. So I'm going to flip the rabbit's foot and roll 1 more die. Okay. Let's see if we can get a 5 or a 6, and we get a 1, so we fail. If you fail, take a detained condition, so we are detained. I'll just turn that upside down. So that was unfortunate. It's not quite how I wanted things to pan out, but anyway, that's the way that it goes. Okay, so we move into the mythos phase, and we draw the first card, which is something on the Himalayas. So we take a clue out. It's in Rome. And we put an exclamation mark on a rumor on the Himalayas. Yep. And 5 elder sign tokens. 1, 2, Eldritch tokens, sorry, 4, 5 Eldritch tokens. So they all go onto here. Oops. On the plateau of Lang, several ruined monasteries have begun to reverberate with a strange chanting noise. No matter how far you travel, the sound never quite disappears from your consciousness. Ghostly chanting. As an encounter, an investigator on the Himalayas, oh, that's very close, may dispel the ghostly chants. He may suspend clues equal to 1 to solve this rumour. Nice to have a clue. When there are no Eldritch tokens on this card, solve this rumour. Each investigator impairs his highest skill. Ooh, nasty. Okay, so we do want to get rid of that. So let's move it over here. That's in the Himalayas, which we're not far off, but we don't have a clue, so bit difficult at the moment. So that's the end of the mythos phase. Just sort of line everything up again. Whoops. There we go. So that's the end of the mythos phase. So we move into the action phase, investigator phase. But we're detained, so all we can do is just flip back over. So we're back over, so we move into the encounter phase. And let's just do another Shanghai. See how we go. Hopefully this one will be better than the last one. You peel an apple by a mirror at midnight to call a ghost. Okay. If you passed. Okay, so let's see. We're law 3. Should flip this back over. That's only for combat encounters. So we are a law of 3, but it's -1. So we get a 2. So we need 2 dice. 1, 2. So we flip this up. Let's see how we go. 5 or a 6. Yes, we get a 5. So we pass. If you pass, the ghost tells you arcane secrets and gives you a quest. Improve your law. That's great. And also, when we improve, you can improve that skill again. So that's actually now we've improved that twice. Is that good? Yeah, +2. Wow. So we're now a law of 4. Yeah, fantastic. And gain 1 task asset. So task assets up here somewhere, aren't they? No, they're here, aren't they? Unique spells. Unique assets. Are they the task assets? No, they're unique assets. Where are the task assets? That's spells. These must be the task assets here. Just as a random gain 1 task asset. So let's just draw them. Do we find one? Task for the greater good. Okay. Whoops. Don't need them all. Okay. No, that's not the one I had before. I must have accidentally lost it then. Let's find it. It was called for the greater good. So search up for greater good. For the greater good. There we go. Okay, I'll put these back. Shuffle them up. So, at the end of the mythos phase, you may spend clues equal to 1 to sacrifice yourself for the good of all mankind. Flip this card. Ooh. God knows what that's going to do. Oh, okay. Not sure quite what to do with that, but anyway. So we improved and we gained a task if you fail. Okay, so we succeeded. There we go. That's the end of the encounter phase. We move into the second mythos phase, and we draw the card. What have we got here? We have, okay, so the Doom track moves round 1. Yep. Which is the same as this, which I think means we move the... yeah, that's right. So we move this down 1 to 14. Yep, for the pyramid. We then, so here we go. So anything that's, I think the only thing that's the red lightning, I'm not sure exactly what it's called. What? the red lightning. The only thing is this. So we remove an Eldritch token from here. And when we do, this impairs his highest skill. Each investigator impairs his highest skill. Well, at the moment, that's this. So this flips. So this is only a +1 now. So it's a good job we got that, because otherwise, yeah. And then we draw a... I don't think there's any other lightning. I think that's the only one at the moment, which is good. So then I think we draw a gate. And the gate is Heart of Africa. And we'll draw a monster. What's the monster? Gnopke. Gnopke. Let's see where this goes. When this monster is spawned, move it to the Himalayas. Okay. So that's on the Himalayas, which means that rumour is a bit more difficult to manage. How bad is this? Oh, -2 to strength. Good job where strength is quite good. It would be great to get that Holy Spear before we move there, though. But I don't want to lose any more skills, so I'm keen to do that. Once inside the lodge, your host invites you to follow him upstairs. Several members are in astonishment. Outsiders are rarely granted such access. At the top of the stairs, you are ushered into a library filled with rare and exotic tomes. Now, he says, how can we help you? Wow, Silver Twilight Age. Each investigator may do one of the following: gain a clue, gain an asset, or gain one spell. Well, I think gaining a clue is probably the thing that we want. Because if we can get to the... Well, we need clues. So assets we already have. Spells are not really our thing. So I'm definitely going to gain a clue. So I'm going to gain a clue. Very nice. Fantastic. Well, that's actually a really great card. Brilliant. Okay, so that was the end of the Mythos phase. That was pretty good. So we're no longer detained. We got ourselves a clue. We've got ourselves a very strange task here, which we could use now. But sacrifice yourself for the good of mankind, that just sounds like we're going to die. So I might do that if things get really, really bad. But at the moment, I'm more focused on the maybe the Himalayas. So there we go. So it now ticks over to the third phase. So we have 2 actions, and I'm going to try and get this Holy Spear, so I can give this Gnopke a really good run for his money. Here. So again, we're going to do 2 influence. Here we go. We're going to try and get at least one of them. So we'll roll them up. 5 or a 6, we get a 5, so that's 1, and then we'll take a debt condition, which gives us 3, which means we can get the Holy Spear. Great. Now we're cooking with gas. So with this, we can test that, and if you pass, discard this card. We could do that right now, but what I would prefer to do is actually move onto the Himalayas as my second action. So we can try and get rid of this here. And hopefully the debt condition isn't too terrible. Okay. So that was our two actions. So we now move into the encounter phase, and I think this is where this comes in. As an encounter, yes, an investigator on the Himalayas may dispel the ghostly chance by spending a clue to solve this rumour. That's it. So we spend the clue. Rumour is solved. That's it. So we can, it's easy as that. Except, no. Of course, we can't just do... Where did I put the clue? I think I put it in here, didn't I? Yes. Except, no, we can't do that, because, of course, the first thing we have to do, I know you're all screaming at me, is we've got to fight this Gnopke. So let's do that. Let's start with a fight. So, so what we have to do here is we need to do the combat. So the first thing we do is willpower. So it's got a willpower of 1. We have a willpower of 3. And actually gain +1 during combat encounters. So we're actually 4. There we go. So we get to roll 4. Let's go. Up we go. Ah, nice. We get 2 6s. Now we could roll again, but I don't think we need to do that. So we've passed that. So that's all fine. It's all good. So we move into the fight phase. Now we have the Holy Spear, which gives us 4 + 4 during combat encounters. So that gives us 8 to fight with. But we lose 2, so that gives us 6 dice. Oh, we don't have enough dice. Wow. Well, what we'll do is we'll add. Let's add another dice. We've got red, blue. Just another D6. There we go. Okay. All right. Is that right? Let me just double check. So we're 4. Our Holy Spear gives us another 4, so that gives us 8. But because of this, we lose 2, so it's 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, now we can potentially roll again if we need to. Hopefully we don't need to. Let's roll them all up. So what do we get? We get a 6, 5. Wow, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, 1, 2, 3, 5. We get 5. Wow, we absolutely monster this. So we, so not only don't we take any damage, but we completely kill this monster. It is completely gone. The Holy Spear has just completely monstered it. There we go. Put it in the trash. So now we can spend the clue. Now we can spend the clue, and we can solve this rumor. And these have all gone. Wow, that Holy Spear was. I think it was. I don't know what the debt. I don't know what the debt consequences will be. But that Holy Spear made a massive, massive difference. So hopefully that should be all good. So that can go onto the discard pile. All good. So very nice. We got in the Himalayas and we managed to get rid of that rumor. We still haven't solved this mystery, however. So whilst we've been tootling around doing other things, the mysteries still remain to be solved. But I'm hoping we can get, well, hopefully, you know, we've now got more things on the table. But the problem is we don't have a clue anymore, so we're missing a clue. But I suppose if we get to Rome and we can snag that clue, we can get down to the pyramids, and hopefully that will all align. But it's a little bit tricky. So we move into the mythos phase. Let's flip the card. Oh, okay. So the deck condition will be kicking in. So first of all, we move this around to the red sunburst. We do have a red sunburst, I think. We do in the heart of Africa. So that brings the doom down to 13, like that. So that's the first thing that happens. The second thing that happens is the red starburst. The only red starburst, I think, is this card, the deck condition. I think everything... Oh, I didn't put out a new asset, did I? Probably all screaming at me for that. It's an ancient tome. Okay. Is there anything else? I don't think so. I think that's the only thing. The penguins, I don't think. Nope. So that's... that's all. Yeah. Just realized, I think when we did the Heart of Africa, we forgot to draw... No, we did draw the We feel like we're missing a monster because we should have 3. We've only got, that was the giant penguin that we drew the first time. Then there was the one that was in the Himalayas. Anyway, I'm not sure what happened there, but anyway, we'll keep going. So, so yeah, this debt condition, I think it just flips. So some men have come to collect. Flip this card. The man wears a coat and brown trench coat. We do not want money, he hisses and grabs your throat. You feel as if part of your identity is being stolen from you. Willpower. Okay. So, willpower. We have a 3 willpower. So let's move. I'm just trying to think. Definitely, that was the draw first up for a monster. The draw from the Himalayas. I don't think we did a draw for the Heart of Africa, so I'm going to do it now. Whoop. Flip. That's funny. Okay, let's draw Star Spawn. Yeah, I think this should be on the Heart of Africa. I think for some reason we forgot to put it out. So that's another thing. Anyway, let's just that's only to be fair. I'd rather be on the side of being worse rather than better. So anyway, we've got to law. So we've got to test law. So a law of 3. Here we go. Let's go. Let's roll it up. And we pass. If you fail, we don't. Then just discard this card. Okay. Not bad. I think I've taken a whole lot of the deck conditions here. That's alright. I do that sometimes. I take the whole lot and flip them over. Doesn't matter. Okay. So that's that was that done. We need to do this star spawn here, and it says roll 1 die. On a 1 and a 2, advance the doom by 1. So we'll roll a die. A 2. Yep. So we advance the doom by 1. There we go. Let's just move these out of the way. Where should we put this? We'll put this up here, out of the way. Okay, so that's the end of the. Oh no, it's not the end of the mythos phase. That's just some of the mythos phase, and then we draw a gate. This time we get Shanghai. Oh, there we go. We just came from there, and we'll monsters. What do we get? We get. What is it? Leogor. What does it do? Each investigator on this space event loses 1 health and it's only nasty. Okay. Put that in Shanghai. There we go. Okay, so now we're into Go 4. And so here we are. We're in the Himalayas. We don't have any clues anymore. The closest clue is in Rome at the moment. So we've got a choice here. We could go to the heart of we could try and go to the heart of Africa, or we could try to get over to Rome to gain a clue. It's the thing that we're really missing because we use that clue to solve that rumor. So what I might do is I might move to this cityscape here as one of my actions, and then we can use the the double rail to get over to Rome and get the clue, and then hopefully. And the second action, what shall I do for a second action? Ooh. Is there anything we want here? I could go for another deck condition or a lucky ring or something like that. Should make our lives a little bit easier. Or I could get a C token, which might be helpful because moving around is quite important. So I might do that. I might get a C token. What's our action again? Oh, that allows us to, yeah, okay. So I'm going to take the C token, C ticket. So we've got a rail ticket and a rail and a ship ticket. So that's good. So that's our 2 actions. So then we're into the encounter phase. I'm going to draw we're on a city. Yes, we are. So I'm going to draw for the city. Flip it. Let's see what we've got. City. Legends say that this cemetery is haunted. Exploring the headstones, you encounter an angry spectre, eager to share his story. The experience is nerve-wracking, but you try and listen. 3 will. Okay. 1, 2, 3. 3 will. Let's roll. Yes, we pass. I don't think... Just says, if you pass, the spirit gratefully fades from view, recover 2 sanity. Okay, well, that wasn't very helpful, but anyway. Alright, so we move into the mythos phase. Let's flip this. What have we got here? First of all, the Doom track moves around. Okay, so it's on the blue. Now, how many blue ones? There's the pyramids. No, there's sunbursts. Okay, so the Doom track moves to 11 now, and we still haven't solved this darned mystery. But anyway, hopefully we can get the clue, and then hopefully we can get there before it moves again. There's a monster surge, so there's a monster surge on the blue ones. I think. Let me just double check that. Monster surge on each space containing a gate. Yeah. So there's a monster surge. So a gug. Okay. Doesn't seem too bad. Ooh, it's quite nasty. Ooh, that's nasty. That is nasty. Jeez. So you can't. Alright. So that goes on the pyramids. The gug. So the gug is... Yeah, on the pyramids. So that's the monster surge. And then a clue. Okay. So that's good. Depending on where the clue ends up. And the clue is in Tunguska. Oh, wow. They're really, really kind of ending up in really, really close proximity to each other. So there we go. Yep. You tell yourself that it's only a dream. But as you stare into the yawning chasm... Uh-oh. It feels real. Perhaps it's true that if you die in a dream, you truly die. But perhaps you can find a way to end this evil. If you can achieve that, is there any risk you would not accept? Lead investigator may gain a lost in time and space condition to advance the active mystery by 1. Lost in time and space condition. Where's that one? That's probably restriction, is it? What's it say? Remove your investigator from the game board. You are unaffected by other game effects and cannot move or perform. Instead of resolving an encounter, flip this card. Ooh, okay. There's a few of them. I think that might be worthwhile doing. So what that would allow us to do is we could put an Eldritch token on this card and it would essentially do it. That's what that means. Yeah. Advance the active mystery by 1. I think I'm going to do that. So I'm going to take an Eldritch token and I'm going to put it on here. Pretty sure that's what you're allowed to do. I'll just double check. So we put an Eldritch token on here. We take a lost in time and space condition. So I'll just shuffle those up. And I'll take the one as soon as I get one on the top. I think that's probably, it keeps showing the same thing. Detained. Am I got the wrong ones? I don't think so. They always... lost it. There we go. So I've taken a lost in time and space condition. So it says remove your investigator from the game board. Boink. You're unaffected by other game effects and cannot perform actions. Flip this card. And then it says instead of resolving an encounter, flip this card. Okay, so we're off the board. Lost in time and space. Bloop, we've disappeared. And I think that's the end of that. Yeah, so at the end of the phase, because we've got an Eldritch token on here, at the end of the Mythos phase, if there are Eldritch tokens on this card, solve this mystery. So this mystery is solved. That's the first one, so that's the first victory point. So we can now, let's shuffle these up and see what the next mystery is that we need to solve. And it is the true name. Fragments of Azathoth's true name exist in long-forgotten tomes. It is said that if a person speaks his name aloud 3 times, the blasphemous sound will grant the speaker great power. When this card enters play, place a number of Eldritch tokens equal to half each on a random space. As an encounter, an investigator on a space containing an Eldritch token may attempt to find information about Azathoth's true name. He may spend 2 clues to place an Eldritch token on this card. Okay, so we can put one on a random space. The way to do that is to draw a clue, and so the random space is 21. 21. Where the hold on, where is that? 20. Oh, it's down there. Okay, so that must be there, down in Sydney. Okay, so there we go. No, it's not. It's an Eldritch token, not a clue, isn't it? Yeah. What am I doing? Put the clue back, and then take an Eldritch token and put it on 21. So basically, what we've got to do is we have to get there and spend 2 clues. That's it. Okay. So there we go. That's the end of that round, and we move into turn number 5. So here we are in turn 5. Probably a good time for a recap, but at the moment we're out of time and space. Sitting away from the game board, we've solved 1 mystery so far. We're on the doom of 11, so things are going reasonably well, much better than they did for Harvey. So pretty happy with how things have gone so far. We've got a pretty nice range of things like the Holy Spear. So I think we're ready to move forward from here into turn 6. Yes, so I guess the first thing is we don't have any actions because this says we don't. So we move straight into the encounter phase instead. And let's flip this card and have a look what happens. You wander from one strange world to another, always at the edge of existence. Oh dear, you believe it is possible to open a portal that can return you to the real world. Law -1. Well, luckily we're a +1, so that gives us a 3. Okay, let's have a roll and see whether we pass. And yes, we do pass, so that's a good sign. If you pass, place your investigator on a space of your choice. Wow. A space of our choice. That's fantastic. Well, in that case, I guess we'll move on to... Whoa! Careful there, Lily. Oh! Oops. Let's flip that back over. So if we move to 21, because I think... but we need... Hold on, that's no good. We've got to spend 2 clues, so that's no good. We need to be somewhere where there's a clue. So either we could move to Rome, or we could try and do this... we could try and get a couple of clues from Tunguska. Or we could go to Antarctica, but that would only give us 1 clue. So I'm thinking, why don't we hang out in Tunguska for a couple of goes and see whether we can expedition and clue, and maybe we'll pick up another clue on the way. So there we go. And then discard this card. Wow, so that was kind of interesting. There we go, that was definitely worthwhile. So there we go, that's good. Okay, so that's our encounter phase. So we move immediately into the next mythos phase. So again, the gate moves around. So this moves twice. Well, actually, no, it doesn't move twice. Are there any green ones on the table? No. So there aren't any green ones actually on the table. So it's just the Doom track moves by 1. So it moves to 10. There we go. So, yeah, that's the first thing. Then there's a monster surge, but I don't think we have any for that one. So that means if there is no... just double check what happens here. Or spawn one gate. Yeah. Okay. So we spawn a gate because there isn't one. So we'll run gates and spawn a gate. We get London, very close together, which is good. Do you always spawn a monster when you spawn a gate? I guess you do. Please let me know if that's not the case, but I'm going to assume that you do, because you always seem to spawn a monster when you spawn a gate. We got a ghoul. So there's a ghoul on London. It's very ghoulish in London. There we go. That's that. And then we spawn a clue. So we'll just roll up the clues. And what do we get here? Flip it. Arkham. Okay, so we'll put that in Arkham. Okay. Yep. To everyone else, it is simply an unimpressive curiosity, but you know that it's special. You know that it's been the most important thing to ever happen to you, and now that you have it, you'll never let it go again. Ooh. Unhealthy fascination. Is this an iPad? Event. The lead investigator is one asset of his choice from the reserve. Then he loses sanity equal to its value. One asset of his choice from the reserve. Okay, well, here we go. We've got the Ankh, Lucky Ring, Arcane Tone. We're not going to have any spells. Or the Arcane Blade. Well, because we're not really into spells, I think the Lucky Ring is probably the one I'm going to take. I feel like we should lean into sort of being lucky. We've got a protective amulet, we've got a lucky ring. So we flip that, and now there's the magic shop. Nice. So that's 3, so we lose 3 sanity. I think that's right. Wow. That's quite a thing to happen. So, yes. So there we go. That's the end of the mythos phase. So we now move into the action phase in turn 7. And I guess it's time for us to do some actioning here. Well, I think, yeah, so a couple of things we can do. We can change our health and sanity. So I think we'll rest, first of all. So we're going to take a rest action because we don't really want to move. So that means we can gain a sanity. And then for our second action, I think we bring down our health by 1 and bring up our sanity. So we're 5-5. So that's our 2 actions. Okay, so we move into the encounter phase, and I think we try and get this clue. So that's one of these, a research encounter. Let's see how we go. So we flip that. Where are we? Where are we? Are we in the wilderness here? Yeah, it looks like it. The dark of night, a voice whispers alien secrets to you. Gain this clue. Nice. A clue. Very nice. Okay, so we gain a clue. Good. You feel compelled to obey the voice's demands. Oh, law -2 is that? If you fail. Ooh, okay. The Chen steals your memories and flies off to do the same to your colleagues. Investigators as a group discover clues equal number of gates on the game board. Ah, okay. Oh, corresponds to current omen. Well, there aren't any. But, alright, so we've got to do a willpower -2. So that's one. That's one dice. Now, we do have re-roll a dice, and we also have re-roll a die, so we can potentially re-roll the dice twice. Okay, so let's go. First roll, 5 or a 6. Nope. So let's just flip the rabbit's foot and try again. Roll the dice. Yes, we do it. Okay, so we pass. That's all good. So there we go. We got a clue. Very nice. Okay. So that was good. So we got one clue. We just got to get the second clue and get all the way down to Sydney. So hopefully, so let's take that clue. Oh, we do have 2 clues now. Of course. So that's fantastic. So now we're in a good position to get down to Sydney. It's a bit of a hike from here. But I'm wondering whether we should investigate Tunguska, though, because we might get something nice from that too. So there we go. We now have 2 clues. Okay. So that was the end of the encounter phase. What are these again? Tunguska and 6. So now it's time for the mythos phase. So flip that. And what's this one? Okay, another clue. Clue goes 11. Where's 11? Down there. Okay. So that's probably there. Is that 11? Yes, that's 11. So move that on to 11. And then we have a mystery, or a rumour, whatever it is, on space 13. So let's grab ourselves a space 13. 12, 11, 12. Is that 13 here? No, that's 15. That's 13. Oh. Huh. Ah, it's right all the way up here. Okay, so there's a rumour here. Ongoing rumour, gates cannot be closed. As an encounter, an investigator on Space 13 may fly a plane over the Arctic ice to scout for the source of these unusually intense northern lights. Observation. If he passes, he catches sight of an unoccupied MyGo outpost and attempts to turn off the bizarre devices. He may spend clues equal to, so 1 clue, to solve this rumour. And until that happens, no gates can be closed. Okay. What's really round the houses? Do we need to close any gates at the moment? No. So, yeah, that's whether we do anything about it. Okay, so that's the end of the mythos phase. They're all the yeah. Okay, so we move into the our next phase. So things are going okay, I guess. We can't close any gates, but there's only 3. There's 4 gates on the table, so it's not the end of the world. We're better to continue to pursue our mysteries. We really need to get down to 21. We've got both of our clues. And we are here in Tunguska. So we've got a choice here. We could either get ourselves down to Shanghai and then use a ship ticket to get down to Sydney, or we could try and solve this expedition. You know, I'm thinking it would be nice to solve the expedition, but given that we want to solve these mysteries as quickly as possible, and the fact that we can't close gates, I think we might be better off. And to be honest, I don't like this particular one because losing health and sanity doesn't look like we should have too much trouble killing it. So I think what I might do is I'm going to spend a rail token is my first action and move 1, 2 down to Shanghai. Whoa, Lily, what are you doing? There you go. Okay, so we're here. Oh! Falling over. We're not detained. There we go. So we're here in Shanghai. That's our first action. This can flip back over. Second action, I think we rest, put ourselves back up, get to health and sanity back up. So then we move into the encounter phase. So we're going to fight this Leogor, or whatever it's called. We flip that. So we start with a willpower test of 2. We are a 3, but our protective amulet makes us a 4. So it's a 4 draw. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there we go. We roll that up. Fail. Dear. What's the... Maybe we try and... Let's try and re-roll 2 of them. So that's that one and this one. So that's 2 dice. Whoop, hold on. Sorry. That's 1, 2. So let's try and do better. 1. Okay, so we take 1. Yeah. So we only got 1 will, which means we take 1 horror. Now it's fight time. So we are we're going to use, obviously, we're going to use our Holy Spear. So that's going to give us an 8 minus 2. So we get 6 dice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we can re-roll if we need to, but hopefully we won't need to. How did we go? We got 1, 2, 3. We got 3. It would be good to re-roll one of them. So let's take the 1 and re-roll it again. No, it didn't make any difference. So we got 1, 2, 3, which means that we don't take any damage, but the Ligor does take some damage, but it's not dead yet. Pity we didn't get that. Where's the damage? Oh, there they are. It's there. So 1. 2, 3. So it took 3 damage, but it's not dead yet. So unfortunately, we have to. We can't. We should try and kill it next go, or we can just move. But it probably would be a good idea to kill it. But anyway, so that's the end of the encounter phase. We move into the mythos phase. Mythos phase gives us. Okay, so we move the Doom around to blue. Now there are 1, 2, I think there are 2 blues. So this goes down by 2. Oh, it's really going down fast now. We have the red action, which I think is this. Each investigator on this space loses 1 health and 1 sanity. Ouch. Are there any other... Flips back. Not yet. Are there any other... I don't think there's anything else. Star Spawn, yeah. What does Star Spawn? Roll 1 die. Okay. On a 1 or a 2. Yes. The Doom moves down again. Ouch. It's moving down super fast. So we need to get going on these mysteries. So we really... Maybe I need to leave the Leogor and just get going. To be honest. Don't need to hang around and kill it. Okay. So, yep. Then we... Oh, sorry. Pressed the wrong button there. Then we a gate. So the gate is Sydney. Wow, we can't close the gates, and when this moves around, these are going to trigger a lot. Gates on Sydney. We get a monster. It's a cultist. It's a cultist on Sydney. It's not too bad. Okay. And the doctors tell you that you are lucky. Between the non-stop travel, questionable food, constant stress, and physical abuse you suffered, they say you should have already died from any of a large variety of ailments. It certainly feels that way. The harder they fall, each investigator may discard any number of talent conditions, and then he loses 1 health and 1 sanity for each talent condition that he has. If I flip this over, that's a trinket, that's an item, that's a task, that's an item, trinket. No big deal. We don't have any of those. So that's fine. Okay, we can move on. Next. Okay, so we're now into turn 9 on the phases. Where are we at? Things are going down. This is going to go down by 3 next go. So we're running out of time very fast. So the quicker we take some action, the better. We really do need to start moving super fast. So I think that's time is of the essence. So on that, I'm going to spend my ship clue and go 1, 2 to Sydney. And for my second action, I'm going to rest again. So 6 and 5. And that's the end of our action phase. So we move into the encounter phase. So we've got a cultist here. Now it says here, after resolving the will test, lose a health and defeat this monster. Okay, so let's just do that. So the will test is it's a 1, isn't it? It's pretty easy cultist. So the will test is a 1. We are a 3. Let's move these out of the way. 1 versus 3. Roll them up. Yep. So we kill that. We pass the will test, but it says here, lose 1 health. Defeat this monster. Goes back into there we go. That was easy. And then we can do we can't close the gate. Gates cannot be closed. There's no point doing that. So we might as well just do a regular thing for Sydney. Sydney, several passengers on an underground train have been trapped by a tunnel collapse. The dark and claustrophobic climb through the rubble is terrifying. Will. So it's a will of 3. Let's go. Yep, we pass. Just. If you pass, your nerves hold out enough to help dig a clear path for survivors. Improve your strength. Wow. That means we get an extra +2 to our strength. Wow. We are so strong. Okay. That's the end of that. So there we go. So we now move into the mythos phase. And oh dear. Okay, so first of all, this moves around to the sunburst. Now there are 1, 2, 3 sunbursts. 1, 2, 3. We can't afford to let that happen again. There are 3 sunbursts. Now, this here, each investigator on this space or an adjacent space, we are not, so that's fine. Star spawn. Roll 1 die. On a 1 or a 2, advance the doom by a 1, which has been unerringly happening this time. But not this time. That's good. Okay, so I think that's the only red spawny, red lightningy thingies that there are. Yes, so there we go. That's the end of that. Then we draw a gate. Oh, roll the dice apparently as well. So the gate is Buenos Aires. There we go, Buenos Aires with... What's a riot? There's a riot in Buenos Aires. The people are revolting in Buenos Aires. There's a riot. So there we go. I don't think we'll be getting to Buenos Aires any time soon. It's a long way from where we are. But that means when blue comes around, 1, 2, ouch, 3. Wow, I hope this final mystery is easier to solve because things are really, really moving apace. Okay. And then finally, I'm not at liberty to disclose my client's identity, the lawyer says, with a dialect you cannot place. Suffice to say, a line of credit has been established. For now, no obligation is attached to these funds. The leading investigator gains a funding condition. Not a fun condition, unfortunately. But is this in the deal? Is this in funding is in the deal? Probably is. Let's search it up. Dark Pact, promise of power, funding condition. Okay, so let's, at the moment it's a Dark Pact, but let's keep going till we get a funding condition. Oh. There we go, so we get the funding condition. What does the fund condition give us? You may discard this card in place of gaining a debt condition, or discard a debt condition. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Magic shop. When you gain this card, gain 2 spells. Might be worth trying to get that. Anyway. Okay. So there we go. So that's the end of that phase. That's the end of the Mythos phase. So we go into turn 10. First action is to move to 21. Now this says, as an encounter, an investigator on space, you containing it may attempt to find information. Spend 2 clues and place an that's what we'll do. So we'll spend these 2 clues, and we put an Eldritch token on this card. There we go. So that's that done. And at the end of the Mythos phase, if there are Eldritch tokens equal 1, solve this mystery. So that was one of our actions, I think. Oh no, it's not an encounter yet. We only did 1 move. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. So I do have another action before I do that. I do apologize. So what do we do? What do we do? We have another action. I think I might gain a... No, can I gain a ship ticket here? No, I can't. I'm in the wilderness. So I can't do that. I suppose we can try for one of these. Not sure which one though. Maybe the magic shop. So that's 2 dice. Let's go. Let's roll them up. Yes, we get 1. So instead of the debt condition, we'll do this. You may discard this card. You may discard this card in place of gaining a debt condition. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to discard this card instead of gaining a debt condition. So that gives us a 1-3. But I think we're going to take the magic shop, because we don't have any spells at the moment. Or the Ankh. That's spell effect. So maybe we'll take the magic shop. So what do we do? Immediately gain 2 spells. 1, 2. Then discard 1 spell on this card. So either it's you may test that if you roll. Okay, I think we've got enough strength. Once per round, when you would lose health, prevent 2 of that health loss. Nice. Okay, so why don't we keep that? So we're going to put that here. Which one's the spell one? Yep. And the magic shop goes here, and we put out a new, which is a Gatling gun. Oh, Gatling gun looks good. Oh well. Okay, so the Gatling gun, yeah, +5, although our Holy Spear is much better than that. So, okay, so we've got something which allows us to ensure we don't lose too much health. So that's the end of our 2 actions. Then we do the encounter. So Now we've just got to survive the end of the Mythos phase. And indeed, the Mythos phase, we flip. This moves around to the blue, which means the omens, the doom track goes 1, 2. There's a third one somewhere. That's 1, that's 2, that's 3. Yeah, the pyramids. So this moves 3. 1, 2, 3. Wow. So we are literally, it's literally on 1 doom. So it's literally close to 0. And then we get the effect of the lightning bolt. So this is 1. Test and, well, before we do that, let's do these ones. So this one here is on this space or adjacent space. Well, we're not. We're here at 21. But this one here, the star spawn, this could be it. Roll a dice on a 1 or a 2. We can... Oh no, that's these re-rolls are for you, I think. Yeah, resolving it. Is this a test? I don't know if this is technically a test. 3, doesn't matter anyway. Can someone maybe answer that? Is rolling this die a test? I guess they're all tests, so we could have re-rolled it anyway. Okay, so what else? This one here, we've got to test lore. So we are a lore of 3. We're a lore unto ourselves, but we'll also do a lore of 3. Wow. And let's roll and see how we go. And yes, we pass, so that's good. Once, maybe we should re-roll. Let's re-roll one of them. This one, we will re-roll, see if we can do better. And we do. So that's 2. Let's see what happens. Let's flip this. What's it say? 1 to 2. The arcane words weigh heavily on your mind at all times. No, that's not it. What am I doing? Wrong one. Oh yeah, no. This is it. So we lose a sanity. Ooh. Okay. All right. Could have been worse. Good job I re-rolled again. Okay, so that's the end of the lightning strike phase. We've done all the lightning strike things. So then we move into the another gate. Oh, funny. What do we get this time? We get Antarctica. Oh, it's going to get busy in Antarctica because we also roll and bring out a deep one. Okay. Wow, Antarctica is very busy, isn't it? Okay. And then we read this. It was so much worse than you thought. The ancient creature had not just established a presence here, it had infected every aspect of the city down to its roots. Ooh! Spawn a monster at each space containing a gate that corresponds to the current omen. Ouch! So we've got a cultist here in Buenos Aires with the riot. We have a proto-Shoggoth in London. Massive monster surge here. And a werewolf. Oh! You know the joke? I used to be a werewolf, but I'm much better now. Yeah, dad joke. And the werewolf will go in the pyramids here with the Gug. Wow, there we go. Okay, things are really getting tough. Things are getting really hard now. I think I'm actually thinking that we do this because we literally, once Azathoth flips, it's the end. So I think we might as well do it. But before we do that, the end of the Mythos phase, at the end, if the Eldritch tokens on this card equal, solve this mystery. So this mystery is solved. That's 2 victory points for Lily. So we will bring out the next one, which is the occult research. The Shan are controlling innocent victims everywhere, using them to call forth Azathoth. After an investigator resolves a research encounter, he may spend 1 clue he gained from that encounter and place that clue on this card. At the end of the Mythos phase, if there are clues on this card, oh, that's easy. Except we've got no clues nearby. So I think it's time to do this. Let's see what this does. So for the greater good... Ah, you may spend clues. Ah, we don't have a clue. Ah. So we're not doing that. Bugger. All right, let's move into 11. I think this might be our last turn as things are going. We have 2 actions. So we need to get a clue, basically. So are we better off staying on the wilderness or moving to Sydney to get that clue? I don't really know what's the better thing to do. But I am going to move to Sydney because we need a ship ticket, because we're not going to get anywhere without a ship ticket. So we move to Sydney and get a ship ticket. That's our 2 goes. Then we'll do an encounter in Sydney. I'm not interested in strengthening, so I'm just going to use a normal city encounter and see what we get. And hopefully it will be something we can use. At the estate sale, you bid on a box of historians' books. If you pass, obtain a number of informative texts. This is what we wanted. Okay. So this is a roll with a -1, so that's just 1 dice. But we can re-roll twice. So let's go. First roll. 6. Look at that. Perfect. So if you pass, you obtain a number of information, including this personal diary. Gain 1 clue. Nice. 1 old journal, unique asset. Unique assets. No, that's not an old journal. Let's just keep going through to... Actually, instead of doing that, let's just keep... No. Old journal, unique asset. There we go. What's it say? Action, test this. If you pass, you discover information that might prove useful. Okay, it's maybe a little too late. But we got our clue, but it wasn't during a research encounter. But if we survive, we can use it to sacrifice ourselves. So depending on what happens in the next mythos phase, which is now, so let's see whether it's the end or not. So we flip it, and it is the end, I think. Yep, so this moves around. And yes, indeed, the doom track goes to 0, which means Azathoth awakens. The world is devoured. Earthquakes and volcanic eruptions tear the Earth's crust apart at a rate faster than the devastation can be recorded or comprehended. As the planet's atmosphere grows increasingly toxic, the insect of Shagai return to their ships and teleport away, anxious to doom a different world. Eventually, when every living thing on the planet has been reduced to a cinder, a bit like global warming, all this, isn't it? A new outer god emerges from the ruins and joins Azathoth's court at the center of all things, and investigators lose the game. So there we go. Anyway, so not too bad actually. I think for a solo, Lily Chen did pretty well there. We managed to get 2 of the mysteries. I don't know what this would have done. I'm actually keen to see what would have... If I managed to sacrifice myself, each night you travel further into the dreamlands, becoming more powerful. You visit dreams of friends and enemies alike, shaping their destiny, while your body slowly wastes away in an opium den. Okay. Each other investigator gains 2 talent conditions to improve each of his skills. Well, that wouldn't have advanced the active mystery by 1. Then you are devoured without advancing doom. So yes, we could have used that to finish things off. So that would have sort of helped accelerate things. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. I think Lily did pretty well. She certainly did a lot better than Harvey. She managed to get 2 mysteries in 11 turns. I think it was 11 turns. I'm not sure whether I did pause the game and come back to it after half an hour, and I'm not sure if I advanced the Doom twice. If I did, I'll pick that up when I review the video. But all in all, I think that went pretty well, much better than last time. It was really helpful getting things like the Holy Spear on board early. The Mythos cards were much more benign than what Harvey got, which made a big difference. Also, the gates and clues and things were fairly narrowly clustered, which helped us. We didn't have to travel too far to get where we needed. And we got a couple of lucky breaks here and there. So all in all, I think Lily Chen did really reasonably well. It didn't end well in the end, but, you know, I think overall getting 2 victory points by turn 11 was a pretty good run. So thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I do appreciate the comments and suggestions. Please like and subscribe. I'm relatively new to this game, so I've got always happy to learn and understand. The league table will appear after this, and no surprises, Lily Chen is ahead of Harvey Walters. Let's have a look at who's going to be up next time in the Investigator Games Eldritch Horror Edition. So let's just... it's going to be Rex. Good old Rex Murphy. So Rex Murphy, the reporter, is going to be up next time in the Investigator Games up against Azathoth, and we shall see how he goes then. But until next time, thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and goodbye.